is going on, guys? JD from New York here. And the Royal Rumble 2016 is in the books. Can't help but think that the Royal Rumble, though it created buzz, it created excitement, WWE created hype, and made it feel more important than it has ever been. But like I said, I can't help but feel disappointed in the end when everything that we've been talking about actually played out in front of us live on the WWE Network. Very, very anticlimactic ending. Very, very anticlimactic Royal Rumble match in itself. I will say this. The Royal Rumble has been dreadful for the past 2 years. Tonight, WWE did things right, and they also did things wrong. We will discuss in the review, but this is your official review for the 2016 Royal Rumble. Thank you guys for the continued love and support all weekend long. I greatly appreciate it. We are on our way to 39,000 subscribers. Thank you guys so much. This is January 24th, 2016, live from Orlando, Florida. The Royal Rumble took place. Now, if you guys have been watching my Off The Script videos, if you've been listening to my Off The Script podcast on iTunes, if you guys have been listening to me for the last couple of months, and you didn't watch the Royal Rumble, you can pretty much figure out how the Royal Rumble ended up, okay? We have a new WWE champion. His name is Hunter Hearst Helmsley, Triple H. We all knew this was going to happen. This was the most logical choice for the WWE to go with. This is the most logical direction that WWE was going to go with as they head towards Dallas and WrestleMania 32. I just don't like how they treated Roman Reigns' spot. I don't like how they treated Roman Reigns' positioning in the Royal Rumble. We will discuss that as we get towards that part of the video, but I can't help but feel disappointed, like I said, when everything completely played out and was fleshed out live and in person. It's one thing to talk about it. It's one thing to predict it. It's one thing to see how it's going to play out. Many of us who are in the YWC, many of us who have an opinion here on YouTube, who talked about the WWE, we all gave our opinions on how we would book the match itself, how we would come down to a Final Four, who would be in the match, what number they would come into the Royal Rumble match, you know? And my brother texted me, and he said it was very anticlimactic. In the end, it was just too predictable. Now, predictable is not bad. Predictable is not bad, but I think the WWE could have went about it a little bit better in the way people were eliminated. I think the WWE could have went about it a little bit better in terms of numbering and who comes in at what number and pushing certain superstars. In actuality, the Rumble is supposed to be a match to start the new year. It's a new year. It's a fresh year. It's a reset. We are on the road to WrestleMania. The Royal Rumble builds stars. The WWE really didn't do that in 2016. Sami Zayn was fed. He was in and out in 5 minutes. He was in the Royal Rumble match. Tyler Breeze, I tweeted out, if I was booking the Royal Rumble, I would give Tyler Breeze a good 40 minutes to show what he has. To show what he has to offer the WWE Universe, and he was gone in 4 seconds. Or 40 seconds. Terrible. It was absolutely terrible booking as far as the new guys go. Okay, we didn't see a Finn Balor. We didn't see a Daniel Bryan. We did see an AJ Styles, and I will talk about that again when we get to that part of the review. But as an overall pay-per-view, if you're going to compare it to the last 2 Royal Rumbles that we got, you have to feel okay with how things went tonight. It was certainly better than what we've been given the last 2 years, but still, for some reason, deep down inside, I think a lot of us are, just content with what happened. I think a lot of us are just okay. We're not blown away with what happened. Certainly better than what we've been given, but still, it ended up being predictable, and it ends up just being another night for the WWE. And this is a night where they needed to just go in there and hit a grand slam. I would say they hit a double tonight. honestly, if you want my analogy in terms of baseball, I think the WWE went into Orlando, for the Royal Rumble, and they hit a solid double off the wall. It wasn't a home run by any stretch of the imagination, because a lot of it came down to being predictable. But the WWE had no choice with the way the injuries have been plaguing the company, with John Cena being out and them having to give Roman Reigns the title. They had nothing else to main event WrestleMania except a Roman Reigns versus Triple H match, which has been built before Roman Reigns even won the title. So you can't blame WWE for going in this direction. Triple H is the 14-time World Heavyweight Champion. It's going to be interesting to see what happens at Fastlane. And Monday Night Raw certainly going to be an interesting watch tomorrow night on the USA Network. But as far as the Royal Rumble goes, we're going to start off with the pre-show. All right, the pre-show, seeing Darren Young and Damien Sandow. Damien Sandow came out with the intellectual gimmick, blue robe and white towel and everything. He came down to a standing ovation. He was loved and beloved by everybody, and it was great to see him get such a great reaction. Darren Young and Damien Sandow versus the Ascension, versus the Dudley Boyz, versus Mark Henry and Jack Swagger. Before this match even took place, I said I think Mark Henry and Jack Swagger are going to win it because, number one, they're both singles guys. Okay, WWE hasn't done anything with the Dudleys, the Ascension, or Darren Young and Damien Sandow in quite some time. Mark Henry has been on record saying that this might be his last year, his last WrestleMania. He may be, bidding farewell to professional wrestling in his home state of Texas at WrestleMania 32. So why not, if that's the case, give him his final Royal Rumble? Mark Henry and Jack Swagger do end up winning, and the stakes were pretty high in this match. They ended up getting a spot in the Royal Rumble. Henry and Swagger both got spots in the Royal Rumble, but when it came down to it, they were both eliminated collectively in less than 20 seconds. So what type of match did they really win during the pre-show? It all meant nothing in the end due to their quick eliminations. But Mark Henry and Jack Swagger won the pre-show Fatal 4-Way Tag Team match. Royal Rumble starts off the evening like it should have with the Intercontinental Championship. And if you guys want match of the year when it comes to the end of 2016, this match will be in the top 5. Hot crowd. They were all in for Ambrose and Kevin Owens. This match makes you proud to be a WWE fan. This match in general makes you proud to be a professional wrestling fan. I'm enjoying this match because, number one, this match, and the story leading up to it was the best thing on WWE television. What these guys have done, the story that they have told in the last 2 months, has been the best thing on Monday Night Raw and SmackDown for the last 2 months. Number two, the intensity of Dean Ambrose and Kevin Owens. Nobody can top the intensity that both men bring to the WWE once they step inside the squared circle. Number three, Dean Ambrose has been made to look great ever since he won the Intercontinental Championship. He's been made to look very, very impressive. And Dean Ambrose, if there was one man I talked about in the beginning of this review, the Royal Rumble is about building new stars. This was the night for Dean Ambrose. If there's one man out of everybody, more names should have been added to this list. But if there was one name that was really, really built and was absolutely on top of everything tonight, who people are going to be talking about tomorrow, it is Dean Ambrose. Number three, the reason why this match was so fucking great is because the Intercontinental Championship was made to be the most important thing in the world to both men. And the action inside the ring, soon as that bell won, proved to you that the Intercontinental Championship still has a lot of merit, still has a lot of meaning in the WWE. These two are building the Intercontinental Championship and the prestige surrounding that belt just by the actions that they give us in the ring. And this match completely put it over the top. I can't even tell you how great this match was. I will do it no justice. It was brutal. It was hard-hitting. The ending scene, Kevin Owens go through a double stack of tables on the outside as Dean Ambrose pushed him off the top rope. The tables were lined up adjacent to the ring post, and Dean Ambrose pushed and shoved Kevin Owens off the top rope. He flipped through 2 tables that were stacked on top of one another, and that was the end. He could not make the 10 count. Steel chairs, propped up steel chairs, clotheslines, power bombs. The announce table got fucking mauled within the first 3 minutes of this match. It was absolutely chaotic. The barriers were destroyed. The timekeeper's area was destroyed. These guys showed you what was most important, and that was the Intercontinental Championship. Now, I said Kevin Owens should win this match. I don't think he was given a fair share with the Intercontinental Championship. But in the end, Dean Ambrose won this match and is still the Intercontinental Championship. We will discuss what happened in the Royal Rumble with both men, because it's very interesting how the Royal Rumble played out for both guys. We will talk about that in a little bit. But Dean Ambrose is still your Intercontinental Championship. Crowd was absolutely on fire. This is what I want out of wrestling every Monday night. Crowds like that. This was a typical pay-per-view crowd. You're not going to have women and children in the crowd. You're not going to have that family-friendly crowd. This crowd was rabid. This crowd wanted blood, and they were there every step of the way to give you and add to what was one of the matches that will certainly be match of the year at the end of 2016. Dean Ambrose is still your Intercontinental Champion. Tag team titles, New Day versus the Usos. They're Uso boring, and like I usually say on Off The Script, they are quickly climbing up my get off my TV list. But the New Day comes out with Francesca too. They resurrected Francesca. She has a twin sister. So Xavier Woods got a new trombone. And they come out and they celebrate. And Big E says that 2016 will be the year of the New Day. And it will be the year of all gold everything. Tag team titles, it would be silly to take the belts off a New Day. They end up winning this match. Big E with a blind tag. And Kofi Kingston, who was actually teaming with Big E in this match, he came in. And he didn't know that Big E tagged himself in, but one of the Usos jumped off the top rope. Big E caught him for the big ending. 1, 2, 3. New Day is still your tag team champions. It was a decent match. The crowd in the opening match with Ambrose and Owens, I mean, they were on fire. So that bled into the tag team match. The crowd was still very hot for the New Day. But after that, things died down. And that's the problem with WWE. When they book these pay-per-views, it's very critical that they go into these things with a right match order, because you don't want to take everything out of the crowd. You don't want the crowd using all its energy for something that is going to be as great as an Owens versus Ambrose match, and then the New Day comes out and they're still very hot with the smart crowd. And then after that, the crowd seemed to have died down for the next couple of matches, which was the United States Championship match and the Divas Championship. Crowd really wasn't as hyped as it was when the show first started, but we'll talk about that in a little bit as well. But the New Day retains the Tag Team Championships by beating the Usos at 10:54. And like I said, big ending to Jey Uso, who was caught off the top rope by Big E, and he was nailed for the 1, 2, 3. Alberto Del Rio versus Kalisto for the United States Championship. I know I'm not the only one who really wasn't that invested in this match. This feud ended to me when Del Rio, on the very next edition of SmackDown, after the Monday Night Raw where Kalisto won the title and he won it back, this feud ended to me. You know, I'm not a fan of hot potatoing a WWE title, no matter what title it is. I'm not a fan of switching back and forth. It does the title nothing, and the 50-50 booking does nothing to the performer itself, Del Rio and Kalisto in this case, okay? If WWE wanted to make this right, if WWE wanted to make this important, not only to the crowd in Orlando, but for the people watching at home, Kalisto would have went into this match against all odds, against the League of Nations, and Kalisto would have won his first United States Championship here at the Royal Rumble. The ovation and the reaction and the moment would have been a lot greater, but we only got half of what we should have gotten with Kalisto winning the United States Championship tonight, because we already seen this ending happen. We seen this a couple weeks ago on Monday Night Raw. Having it happen again really didn't do anything for anybody. It didn't do anything for me. It didn't do anything for you guys. You guys are happy. I'm happy that Alberto Del Sleepo is no longer the United States Champion, and I'm not knocking Del Rio. Del Rio may be one of the best technical, physical wrestlers on the WWE roster or in the entire world. He's great at what he does in the ring. I can't help it that I think he is boring. And I don't know what WWE does to Del Rio. Every time he's in a WWE ring, no matter if it was his first go-around with the company, he left to go down to Mexico, and in the Independence, he comes back and beats John Cena for the United States title. Everybody's excited to see him. And then immediately after that, he did nothing with the United States title. Nobody gave a shit about him, and he just ended up being boring and putting people to sleep, you know, being in random tag team matches with, you know, his stable and going against people that nobody really gave a shit about. And Del Rio can't help that, you know? It's not his fault. It's not his fault. He's doing his job in the ring, but he can't get over with the crowd because he's been given nothing important to work with. He's not in anything significant on WWE television. Having the U.S. title doesn't mean that Del Rio is important, you know? The title hasn't seen the light of day like it did when John Cena was holding the title. And everybody wants to knock John Cena about the United States Championship. When John Cena was the United States Champion, things were exciting. Things were unpredictable. The matches were great. The title being defended was, you know, was important to everybody because Cena made it important. Del Rio didn't make it important. Kalisto is not going to make it important, you know? So what did this really accomplish? Del Rio had the title 2 times in this span in 2 weeks, and Kalisto now has the title 2 times. I mean, what does this do? Does this get Kalisto over? No. Was Kalisto given a proper push of momentum here? No. Everything was washed away when they took the belt off of him. So the right thing to do here was to not give Kalisto the title at all until the Royal Rumble. Things would have been a lot better if Kalisto won his first title tonight. But I can't say that. He beats Del Rio. He is the new United States Champion. And now he is a 2-time United States Champion. And for what reason? None. Absolutely none. The match wasn't even that great. A lot of botches here and there, you know, sloppiness. And Kalisto ended up winning at the end. But like I said, it's tough to invest your time in something where it flops back and forth and you can't give the proper momentum to the guy that you want to get over. Kalisto is over, but he's not as over as he should be. Kalisto is your new United States Champion. Divas title. This is where things get a little bit interesting. Becky Lynch versus Charlotte. I tweeted out, I can't help but say that Ric Flair is very, very annoying on the outside. Charlotte is your Divas Champion. I predicted Becky to win this match because I think that WWE has done a very, very good job at building momentum for Becky up until this point. Charlotte is growing on me, okay? She is growing on me. I am beginning to accept that she is Ric Flair's daughter, finally. You know, I don't think Ric Flair needs to be on the outside for every match that she has. I don't like that Ric Flair gets in the way and interferes in every match that she has. I don't mind that Charlotte is becoming Ric Flair of the Divas division. Win by any costs. The dirtiest player in the game. That's the lifestyle Ric Flair led. I understand that, and I'm fully accepting of that. But Ric Flair does not need to be at ringside because I am tired of the outside interference. If you are a champion, I want you to defend your title and go in there and by hook or by crook, by any means necessary, show me what you have. If you have to cheat to win, fine, you're a heel. Cheat to win. I don't need Ric Flair interfering in the match every single time she wrestles. It's annoying and it's quite frustrating as a viewer. Okay, but I understand that she's the heel. It's meant to get her heel heat, so I'm not going to be overly critical of it. It happened again tonight. Ric Flair, in the end, Becky had to disarm her on Charlotte, and he throws his suit jacket on Becky, blinding her like a fool. She gets up and is purposely, you know, on top of Ric Flair, and she's minding, you know, she's there, you know, getting in Ric Flair's face. He has nothing to do with the match. As a challenger, you should know this going in, that Ric Flair is going to try and get your attention and try to screw you over. Why are you going to play right into his game? Becky was made to look like a fool here. So at the end of that, Charlotte ended up winning the match because she was speared twice, and the second spear actually beat Becky here, 12 minutes and 37 seconds. Charlotte beats Becky, retains the Divas Championship with a spear. Okay, now at this point, Becky is in the ring, and all of a sudden, I can hear the internet breaking all over the world because the boss, Sasha Banks, her theme music plays, and I was actually making myself a cup of coffee, and I had my back turned, and I'm like, oh, I have to turn around for this because I hear something going on. And this got one of the best reactions of the night. You can see how over Sasha Banks is. So she comes out. She's got the glasses. She's got her ring gear on, minus the jacket. She gets into the ring, and at first, she looks like she's going to pair up and team up with Charlotte. And she's shaking her hand and giving her a high five. And she kicks Becky to the outside. So Becky's on the outside, and you think there's going to be some type of collusion going on between Charlotte and Sasha. There's going to be some type of team forming, some kind of alliance going on between Sasha and Charlotte. But before you know it, when Charlotte is about to walk out of the ring, Sasha gets the bank statement on Charlotte and turns face right before our very eyes. And Joe Cronin and I predicted this on Out of Nowhere a couple of weeks back. We mentioned that we wouldn't mind seeing a triple threat match at WrestleMania between Becky, Sasha, and Charlotte. And it looks like that's the direction that they're going. How this is going to play into Fastlane now creates some excitement for the Divas division because Sasha Banks, who must be okay, she was rumored to have an MCL injury slightly, not that significant, but now she is going to be playing a part in how the Divas Championship picture turns out going into WrestleMania, and I'm sure everyone's excited. I know you guys are excited. I know I'm excited because this is what we've been wanting ever since they debuted all three of these women on the main roster. And what better way to represent the Divas division at WrestleMania than having your NXT greatest women ever to step foot in that organization, be on the main roster altogether minus Bayley, and go at it at WrestleMania in a triple threat match for the Divas Championship. Sasha turned face tonight. Everybody was excited. It's going to be interesting to see how this progresses on Monday Night Raw. What happens with Becky? I don't know. I thought Becky was going to win it. I think they were, I thought the WWE was going to keep that momentum going for Becky, but, what the fuck do I know? Charlotte retains the title, and like I said, spears Becky to win at 12 minutes and 37 seconds. But Sasha did show her face tonight, turned face, and took care of the Divas champion in the process. Now, the Royal Rumble. Roman Reigns, we all knew, came out at number one, okay? Rusev came out at number 2. I actually thought that one of the Wyatt family was going to come out. Instead, I had either Luke Harper or Braun Strowman coming out at number 2, but they went with Rusev, being that he is in the League of Nations. And Rusev was actually the first one eliminated in the Royal Rumble. And then at number 3, as soon as Rusev was eliminated, they didn't show you a picture of the Titantron, and all they did was pan on Roman Reigns' face. And he looked very, very confused at who was coming out at number 3. I heard the crowd fucking just explode. And then all of a sudden, you hear the crowd, and they pan up the aisleway, and AJ Styles, the phenomenal one, AJ Styles, is in the WWE. He lasted about 25 minutes in the match, but he ended up getting eliminated towards the middle of the match. And this is exactly the reason why I would not have debuted AJ Styles in the Royal Rumble. The fans lost their mind. Loud chants of AJ Styles in the arena tonight, okay? Tyler Breeze came in at number 4, and he was eliminated very, very quickly. Goes to show you what Vince McMahon thinks of Tyler Breeze, and it looks like Tyler Breeze is still in the fucking doghouse with no expiration date on his punishment as of yet. Curtis Axel came in at number 5, and who was number 6? Chris Jericho came in at number 6. I'm surprised that they put Chris Jericho at such a low number. I figured he would be in the 20s at least. Kane, number 7. Goldust was number 8. Ryback was number 9. Kofi Kingston was number 10. Titus O'Neil, number 11. R-Truth comes out at number 12, and the first thing he goes for is a ladder. He sets up the ladder in the ring, thinking that this is the Money in the Bank ladder match, being that there's multiple men in the ring. He climbs the fucking ladder, and I laughed because it's fucking hilarious. He climbs the ladder, and he's like, where's the fucking briefcase at, bro? So Kane sees this. He's like, what the fuck are you doing, man? He throws him out of the ring. Kane folds up the ladder, throws out the ladder over the top rope, and they proceed with the Royal Rumble match. I don't know what the fuck they're going. I don't know what's going on, man. R-Truth comes in thinking it's the Money in the Bank. He gets eliminated in about a minute. So that's that for R-Truth, all right? Luke Harper was number 13. Who was number 14? Stardust was number 14. Big Show was number 15. Neville was number 16. Braun Strowman was number 17. Kevin Owens was number 18. And Dean Ambrose was number 19. And then it got interesting. Sami Zayn was number 20. Now, this would have been a perfect opportunity to do what I've been saying for months. If Kevin Owens did beat Dean Ambrose in the Royal Rumble Last Man Standing match to open the show, he would have been Intercontinental Champion. Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn met head-on in the Royal Rumble tonight. Sami Zayn eliminated Kevin Owens and tossed him over the top rope. That would have been an absolutely epic start to what could be one of the greatest Intercontinental Championship matches we could see in the modern era for WrestleMania. I would have had Kevin Owens actually come out and try to eliminate Sami Zayn as a form of revenge and pull a Kurt Angle on a Shawn Michaels back in the Royal Rumble several years ago. That set up their WrestleMania match. That's what I would have did, but they didn't go with that. Kevin Owens lost tonight. Sami Zayn eliminates Kevin Owens. I think it was just a one-off. You know, they played up to it, and it lasted for about 2 minutes. They took the idea that we were all talking about for months, and it really didn't mean anything in the end. So, you know, Kevin Owens was there. He was eliminated. Sami Zayn eliminates Kevin Owens in the Royal Rumble. There was also a moment where Kevin Owens and AJ Styles went at it. The crowd went fucking crazy. Kevin Owens actually eliminated AJ Styles from the Royal Rumble. And this is exactly what I said earlier. I would not have debuted AJ Styles at the Royal Rumble for this very reason. You know, and it's smart by WWE to do this because they had the right man do the job. They had the right man eliminate AJ Styles because, you know, he's over with the smart crowd. And he does eliminate someone who's also over with the smart crowd. So they really didn't know who do we boo? Do we boo Kevin Owens for eliminating AJ Styles? Do we cheer AJ Styles for having a good showing in the Royal Rumble? So WWE, I think they did the right thing by Kevin Owens eliminating AJ Styles, because if it was anybody else, if it was like a Big Show or a Kane or a Ryback or a Roman Reigns, God forbid, I mean, it would have been over. The whole Royal Rumble fucking mood and momentum would have been over. But WWE saved that for later on in the Royal Rumble. They just completely killed the mood as this match went on. So Kevin Owens was eliminated. AJ Styles was eliminated. And like I said, I would not have had AJ Styles in the Royal Rumble for this very reason. We knew he wasn't going to win. You know, I mean, he had a solid showing for a good 20, 25 minutes. He was in there. He was in there with Owens. He was in there with Jericho. Him and Roman Reigns were in the match for a little bit by themselves. He was in there with Neville. You know, he got a few shots on Big Show, a few shots on Ryback and Kane. I mean, but what does this do for AJ Styles and his debut? He's just like anybody else, man. He's just a normal guy. And he did get a great pop because it was in Orlando. People knew who he was. You know, it's not like they were going to put him out there and nobody knew was going to know who he was. Obviously, he wrestled for TNA, which is located at Universal Studios. So people know who he is, especially with a pay-per-view crowd for the Royal Rumble. It's a smart crowd. People are going to know who AJ Styles is. And I love his theme music, by the way. Let me know if you guys heard his theme music. I really enjoy his theme music, man. It fits him perfectly. And he's got a great look, man. He's very hard-hitting. He's very fucking physical in the match. His stiff shots to Reigns and Jericho, man. I'm like, holy shit, AJ Styles is fucking shit up in the Royal Rumble. And I was excited to see him, but this is a waste of his debut. If they were patient and waited until after WrestleMania and did the storyline that I've been preaching for weeks now, I think it would have come off a lot better. His debut would have been monumental. They could have saved this. But I don't know what they have in store for AJ Styles. If he's debuting now, obviously they have plans for him at WrestleMania. Does this mean we get a Kevin Owens versus AJ Styles IWC type match? Are they going to break the internet with that type of match? Will Daniel Bryan return, being that he cleared, or he is been cleared by a UCLA doctor? Will this now give WWE a little bit more confidence in having their doctor clear him? Do they put AJ Styles against Daniel Bryan at WrestleMania? I don't know. I don't know, man. The door is open. If AJ Styles is in the Rumble, he debuted tonight at number 3. Obviously, he's going to have some type of role in WrestleMania. But I would have saved it. I mean, it really did nothing for AJ Styles. The debut was short, it was sweet, but ultimately it should have been more impactful, and the Royal Rumble, to me, should not have been that place. That's just my honest opinion on that. His debut should have happened the Monday Night Raw after WrestleMania. Erick Rowan is in at number 21, and that gives the Wyatts 3 men in the Rumble at this point, with Bray still yet to come. the Wyatts get together and dump everybody out. They pretty much own the Royal Rumble. Mark Henry came in at number 22. Lesnar then came in at number 23, and at this point, you all got the feeling that the ring was pretty filled up, and they were going to have the Wyatts dominate for a little bit, and Lesnar was going to come in there and dominate, and Brock goes right after Jericho and Strowman and starts suplexing fucking everybody. Suplexes Rowan and Harper and Strowman, and everybody's just fucking going to Suplex City at this point. So number 24 ended up being Jack Swagger. He lasted about 15 seconds. We got Lesnar, Strowman, Harper, Ambrose, and Jericho at this point in the ring. Miz is number 25, and he doesn't get in the ring immediately because he sees the amount of beast-like nature in the ring with the Wyatts and Lesnar, and he remains by the announce table at this point, and he waits there for a good 10 minutes before he actually gets into the ring. Lesnar at this point eliminates Luke Harper, and Alberto Del Rio comes in at number 26. Bray Wyatt then comes in at number 27. By the time Bray Wyatt gets into the match, all the Wyatt family is eliminated. So the idea that I mentioned to you was about to take place. Lesnar and Wyatt are on a collision course for WrestleMania. Lesnar is in there with Bray Wyatt, and before you know it, the Wyatt family, who are all eliminated at this point, circle the ring like a fucking bunch of vultures, and they end up doing the deed, and Brock Lesnar is eliminated eventually by the Wyatt family, and at this point, the entire pay-per-view is fucking just completely gone to shit. I had a terrible feeling about the ending. The momentum in the air was sucked out of that arena because Brock Lesnar was eliminated. Bray Wyatt barely got a reaction when he was introduced as, number 27. So, as soon as Lesnar got eliminated, the entire momentum and the feel of the crowd was just gone at that point because everybody wanted Lesnar to win the match. Everybody wanted Lesnar to win the match, and at this point, it just did not happen. Wyatt family eliminates Brock Lesnar. Dolph Ziggler is number 28. Sheamus is number 29, and I don't need to tell you who number 30 is. Now, I don't like how they treated Roman Reigns tonight. And this is going to be the last talking point of this review, okay? Roman Reigns started off okay. He started off tolerable. He did what he had to do. He exuded himself as a fighting champion. He's in there against all odds. He was in there with AJ Styles. He was in there with the big guys, Kane, Big Show, Ryback. He was there. All of a sudden, Vince McMahon comes out and starts ordering everybody. All the League of Nations come out. And before you know it, League of Nations is beating up on Reigns. He's laying on the French announce table. I think it was the French. One of them. It was either the Spanish or the French announce table. Rusev. All three announce tables, all three fucking languages. You got the French, the Spanish, and then you got the English guy. Rusev gets on top of the English announce table and sprints across all three, big splashing Roman Reigns through the table. He's out. So at this point, they're bringing in the gurney, and they're bringing out the stretcher, and they got the medical doctors out there. And at this point, Roman Reigns disappears for like a half an hour. I mean, how? This is what I don't get, you know? I don't know if it was their intent to make Roman and develop sympathy for Roman because, they wanted to tease that he was going to win it at the end. But realistically, logically, how does this make Roman Reigns look as a WWE champion? I mean, if you're going to be in this type of match and you made this type of rule, and if you look back at the 1992 Royal Rumble and you see what Ric Flair went through to win that match and win the WWF title, if you see what Bob Backlund went through in 1993 and lasted over 60 minutes breaking Ric Flair's record, you see what he went through. There was no gurney needed. I mean, this guy went up against fucking 29 other guys. This guy was staring Yokozuna in the face at the end of the fucking match. That was a lot more difficult than what Roman Reigns had to go through, okay? You can't even put Roman Reigns in the same league as what a Ric Flair and a Bob Backlund went through in 92 and 93. I don't know what the idea of that was. I don't know why they're rehashing old ideas. I don't know why they're doing this for Roman Reigns. It doesn't make him look good. And he's the WWE champion. It's one against all. The trademark of this pay-per-view in the headline was Roman versus all. How is it Roman versus all if he sits out for half an hour and then comes back and starts Superman punching anybody or everybody? How? I mean, I don't get that logic. So to me, right there, that soiled what was a decent Royal Rumble match. That soiled what was a decent Royal Rumble match up until that point. And I don't like it. I don't like that he's the champion and they had to treat him like that to try and gain sympathy from the crowd. This crowd was not going to show him sympathy. This crowd booed him immediately as he walked down the ramp as his number was being announced at number 1. Nobody cared about Roman Reigns. Everybody wanted anybody else to win but Roman Reigns. Triple H is the fucking heel going into this match, and you couldn't even think about it or realize it when his number was announced, because at this point, everybody in the arena wanted anybody but Roman. Triple H was fucking admired and cheered as he was number 30. Like I knew he would be. He comes down, and I'll give WWE credit. They went to the last minute of the 11 o'clock hour. They made it intriguing. Triple H had some near spots where he was almost eliminated by Dolph Ziggler, and it eventually came down to Dean Ambrose and Roman Reigns. Dean Ambrose and Triple H. Roman Reigns was actually eliminated before the final 2 happened, which was Dean Ambrose and Triple H. Roman Reigns at this point was eliminated. He was no longer WWE champion, so it came down to Ambrose and Triple H. And the tease of Roman Reigns being gone and Triple H in there and trying to hang on, there was some near spots where Triple H was almost eliminated, and I'm like, are they going to do it? Are they going to pull the trigger? Are they going to make Dean Ambrose the champion? Are they going to give it to Bray Wyatt? But at this point, you know, when everybody else was eliminated and it came down to Triple H and Dean Ambrose, Triple H was the winner. He eventually became the winner of the Royal Rumble, 14-time world champion, and now we are going to eventually get what we've all been hearing about in the rumors. It's going to be Roman Reigns versus Triple H at WrestleMania. I'm assuming Roman Reigns is going to go one-on-one with somebody in a number 1 contenders match to try and get his title back. I doubt Triple H goes against anybody else but Roman Reigns at WrestleMania. That is your WrestleMania 32 main event. Seems like we're going to be getting Brock Lesnar versus Bray Wyatt at WrestleMania. Kevin Owens is going to have some type of role in WrestleMania. With AJ Styles, we don't know. With Sami Zayn, we don't know. Looks like Chris Jericho and Dean Ambrose might have something going on for the Intercontinental Championship because Dean Ambrose eliminated Chris Jericho. So that might be played up on WWE television during the road to WrestleMania. But other than that, we don't know what else is going on, man. So we got some seeds planted for WrestleMania tonight. Overall, the WWE, if I was to put it in terms of a baseball analogy, they hit a double. It wasn't the greatest Royal Rumble ever. It was decent at best. It was watchable, but it was certainly better than the last 2 years that we got. And the ending, though very, very predictable, and when it played out after months and weeks of talking about it here on my channel and off the script, and I don't know where with Joe Cronin, after seeing it all play out, you really can't help but have, that's it type of attitude. I mean, is that all we got type of attitude? Shrug your shoulders, you move on to Monday Night Raw. We knew it was coming, and when it played out on TV, it really didn't excite us as much as we thought it would. But Royal Rumble tonight, I give it a solid 5.5 out of 10. Obviously, the match of the night was Dean Ambrose versus Kevin Owens. That was probably the highlight of the whole pay-per-view. The Royal Rumble match itself was better than the last 2 years. It had a sense of urgency, but some spots and some number entries just could have been, altered a little bit differently. AJ Styles should have not been in the Royal Rumble. Maybe we could have seen a Samoa Joe. A Finn Balor didn't show up. WWE could have went about it a little bit better. But in the end, Triple H is your WWE champion for a 14th time. The 2016 Royal Rumble is in the books. And now we go on to Monday Night Raw and Fastlane 2016 on the road to WrestleMania. That is the next stop. Thank you guys so much. If you enjoyed the review, if you enjoyed the video, hit that thumbs up. Make sure to catch my Off the Script series. If you missed it this weekend, links are down below. Make sure to follow me on Twitter at JD206. Follow me on YouTube or subscribe to me on YouTube for the number 1 place for WWE news and rumors. And if you guys want to go check out my digital podcast on iTunes, Stitcher, Podbean, and AudioBoom, you guys can check that out. Links are in the description of this very video, man. If you guys are on iTunes, please leave a very, very kind rating. It really helps me out in the rankings on iTunes top podcasts. We're sitting in the top 100 now. So if you guys can help me out and we can move our podcast into the top 50, that would be fucking phenomenal. But thank you guys so much. Leave me a comment down below. Hit that thumbs up if you enjoyed the video. I will be back for a Monday Night Raw review. Tomorrow's going to be very interesting, and I'll see you guys immediately following Raw, man. This is your Royal Rumble review. This is JD, and I'll see you guys tomorrow for Monday Night Raw.